Hi, this video is going to be a demonstration of the Texas Esthetician State Board Practical Exam. This video is intended for our Aveda Arts learners to help them be more successful and have some study material. Keep in mind, State Board is up to the interpretation of each individual esthetician and campus, so we might do things a little differently, but this is what we do here at our institute. All right, so our first section is going to be pre-examination, setup, and disinfection. So I'm going to grab my kit. And when we grab our kit, we're going to make sure we reach in and we're grabbing our pre-examination setup and disinfection bag. From here, it's really important that we remember to close our kit fully to keep it sanitary. We'll set that to the side for now, and we'll focus on our pre-examination setup and disinfection section. So I'm going to first reach in and grab out my trash can. I'm going to make sure I zip my gallon bag closed. Right now, my space has not been sanitized, so I'm going to tuck this underneath my arm until it's ready. I'm going to go ahead and open up my trash can, and we're going to set this down below. Now, throughout my exam, I can properly dispose of my own waste material. So now I'm going to go ahead and get into my kit bag here, and we're going to grab our barbicide wipes. Again, closing our kit for sanitation. I'm going to reach in and I'm going to grab a wipe, and we're going to wipe down our entire workstation. If you have a mirror in front of you, if you have hooks underneath your station, if you have a barber's chair behind you, or any items that are a part of your station, we do want to make sure we take the time to disinfect all of that. Then any wipes that I use are going into my trash can down below. Once my station is clean, I'm free to start placing items on my counter so I can relax and set that down. The next thing I want to grab out of my kit bag will be my hand sanitizer. So I can place this down. We keep our hand sanitizer in this bag, so we'll need to take that out, place that at the head of our counter. We're going to close this bag and throw that away. Now that I have my hand sanitizer out, I do want to make sure to utilize that every time I throw items away. I'm now going to go into the remainder of these kit items. We have a table drape, and then we also have our baggie of extra items in the event that we drop things. We're going to close this gallon bag, throw it away, sanitize our hands. We can set up our table drape for our mannequin. All right, so now on our station, what we should have are hand sanitizer, our table drape, we have barbicide wipes, and we have extra items if we drop things. Right, so once we're complete with the pre-exam setup disinfection section, we'll step back, raise our hand to indicate completion. All right, our next section will be cleansing service. So I'm going to grab my kit bag, and with this section, I need to grab out my mannequin, and I'll place her right on the drape, and then I also need to grab my cleansing service bag. Remembering, after we are done grabbing our items from our kit, we do want to zip the kit closed to keep it sanitary. Okay, so I have my mannequin and I have my kit bag, again, cleansing service section. I'm going to sanitize my hands to start. And I'm going to push some items over to make space for the rest of the things, so that way you guys can see them. First thing I'm going to grab is a paper towel, flatten it. I have a folded paper towel. I'm going to set that to the side. That is for my hands once I start using my cleanser. My steam towel is going to go off to the side as well. And then all of my disposables will rest on this flattened paper towel. I also have my product. With this gallon bag, before I throw it away, I do want to zip it closed. I want to sanitize my hands. And then I'm going to grab my products and place them on that paper towel. Keeping in mind that State Board, all of these bottles will be filled with product. I'm going to throw this away, and then I'm going to sanitize my hands. Okay. So after sanitizing the hands, we're going to move into preparing our mannequin for the service. So the first thing I want to do is take a shower cap to drape the hair. So you're going to place the shower cap on your mannequin, and you're going to tuck the excess shower cap underneath the mannequin's head. I encourage you to practice this a few times before you go to State Board. It can be kind of challenging. It's a little bit different than working on a person. So once you have the shower cap placed well enough, you're going to sanitize your hands again And then we get to move into the headband. Okay? So we're going to open our little prepackaged headband. We're going to throw the trash away, placing our headband back on the paper towel. Sanitize your hands. And we're going to take our headband, open it up, and place it on top of the shower cap. This just helps add a little bit of extra security so that way we don't have to adjust our shower cap and head draping as much throughout the service. But anytime our head drape slips, we want to make sure we adjust it and then sanitize our hands. That is a section that they're looking for to make sure you maintain throughout service. So once it's placed, we're going to sanitize our hands before we begin the actual cleansing service. To begin, we always want to start with eye makeup and lip makeup removal. So we have a 2x2 and eye makeup removal product. We're going to open it up, place 2 to 3 drops of product on here. It's important that we close the bottle and place it back down. So then we'll take that 2x2 and we will start mocking through an eye makeup removal. Once we remove one eye makeup, we will throw this away. We will sanitize our hands and we will repeat that process on the other eye. So we're grabbing our other 2x2, our eye makeup removal product, 2 to 3 drops on the 2x2, close it, place it back down, and we're going to wipe the other eye. All of this is mocked today, so that way you're able to go through the motions without utilizing any product or having to replace kit items. Of course, at State Board, we will be using real product, and we will be using our hand sanitizer, and all other items will be used in full. So that way, you're just aware moving forward. Okay, so after I throw that 2x2 away, I am going to sanitize my hands, and I'm going to remove the lip makeup. So my final 2x2, I'm going to use eye makeup remover for this as well. 2 to 3 drops, close it up, place it back down. We're going to hold the outer corner of the lip and wipe towards the inside. We're then going to switch sides, hold the outer corner. You can use your thumb. I want to make sure you guys can see. And we're going to wipe towards the inside. This will go into the trash. We'll sanitize again. And then now we can go into our full cleansing process. So we'll take our cleansing product, a couple of drops in our hands, close it, place it back down. And we want to just get that bubbly, nice and sudsy, and we're going to apply to our mannequin and just perform a simple cleansing service. We want to move upward and outward using that effleurage technique, some circles, and make sure we get the skin nice and clean. At this point, our hands are going to be covered in cleanser, so that's what we have this extra paper towel for, to just wipe off any product before we move on. We'll throw that away, we'll sanitize our hands, and now we are going to remove the cleanser from our client. So we have our pre-sanitized steam towel. We are going to take this towel. It might have some extra moisture left inside, so we do want to wring it out for any additional water so that way we don't make a mess. We want to close this, throw this away. Now, when we're throwing our steam towel bags away, we want to drop it from a distance to avoid cross-contamination. You can also drape it on your arm and throw it away from a distance here to keep it extra sanitary. Once we have our steam towel out, we are going to open it up and we're going to test for temperature, make sure it's comfortable for our client. All right, and then we're going to drape this on the face. We want to leave the nose and mouth exposed for this. This is a cleansing steam towel, so we don't need to wait. We do want to just go and press it in and then start removing that product. We're going to wipe down and out on the face. Gently lift, and then we are going to throw this away. We're going to sanitize our hands, and now we can tone. So we're going to take our toner. We have a cotton ball. We're going to do a couple of spritzes on the cotton ball, placing this back down, putting the lid back on, and then we are going to tone. And we're just going to work in a linear fashion across the mannequin's face, and then we will throw this away. We'll sanitize our hands, The last thing that we're going to do is blot any excess toner that's on the surface. So we have a tissue. Personally, what I like to do and encourage you to do as well is to take it and fold it into a triangle. So that way you can place it on one side of the face and gently blot, flip it, and gently blot. Now this, your product, and that paper towel are all going to be thrown away. We'll then sanitize our hands. And before we move on to the next section, we want to take a barbicide wipe out. So we grab a barbicide wipe. We are going to wipe all of the station around our mannequin straight. We'll throw away that wipe, we'll sanitize our hands, and then step back, raise our hand to indicate completion. Our next section is steaming service. So I'm going to grab my state board kit, and I'm going to grab the steaming service section. I'm going to place this under my arm while I zip my kit closed. We'll place this off to the side. We're going to begin by sanitizing our hands. We're then going to grab out that pre-moistened steam towel, place that off to the side, closing this before throwing it away, and sanitizing our hands before we begin. So for this section, all you need is a steam towel. Again, we're going to wring out any extra moisture inside of this bag, and then we're going to throw the bag away. You can hold the towel and drop from a distance, or if you would like to, keep it draped. Drop from a distance, sanitize your hands again if you'd like. If you drop from a distance, though, you should be fine on sanitation. For the steaming service, we will open it up. We are going to check the temperature, make sure it's safe, and then we're going to drape our towel to cover our mannequin's face, keeping the mouth and nose exposed. Now, this is a steaming steam towel service, so it is implied that we need to wait a few minutes. So I would encourage you to wait about 2 minutes with the steam towel on your mannequin's face. So you'll just need to count inside your head. If you're at a facility with a clock, watch the clock for about 2 minutes. You can keep your hand here on your mannequin, or you can step back entirely. Just do not raise your hand. Once you raise your hand, that indicates completion. So if you're just waiting on the steam towel, just wait patiently and then move forward. After 2 minutes has elapsed, you then can go in to remove your steam towel. I encourage you to sanitize your hands. Just in the event that you happen to touch something, we want to make sure that we're starting with sanitary hands. So sanitize, and then we'll go in for removal. This is not a product removal, so we don't need to worry about wiping down and out. We just need to make sure that we're gently lifting, and then we'll throw this away. We'll sanitize our hands, and before we move on to the next section, we're going to grab a barbicide wipe out of here, and we're going to barbicide our station everywhere around our mannequin straight. We'll throw that wipe away, and we'll sanitize our hands. We'll step back, raise our hand to now indicate completion. Our next section is massage service. So we're going to go ahead and grab our kit. And we're going to grab our massage service bag, making sure we close our kit fully and set that to the side. Before we start grabbing items out of our massage service bag, we want to sanitize our hands. Then we can start laying out our items. The first item I encourage you to lay out is a paper towel, and you want to flatten it so that way you can put your disposables there. You have a folded one that you can place off to the side. That is for your hands. And we have our massage product, our toner, a cotton ball, all placed on the paper towel. And then we have our steam towel set to the side. We want to close this before we throw it away. And we're going to sanitize our hands. So we're going to begin the massage from this point forward. So we're going to grab our massage product, place a few drops of whatever we've chosen to put into our bottle, and then we're going to just warm that up on our hands. We need to demonstrate 3 massages today. We need to demonstrate effleurage, petrissage, and tapotement. I encourage you to do 3 rounds of each type of massage in a single rotation on repeat. That way you're able to make sure your proctor sees you do all 3 of the massage techniques. So starting first with application, which is effleurage. So we're doing sweeping motion using the pads and pads of our fingers and palms of our hands. So we're demonstrating effleurage. Now we're going to move into petrissage. So we're going to use our thumb and our middle finger, and we are going to demonstrate the best that we can a petrissage technique around the jaw, as well as we can do this on the brow bone. And then we want to do tapotement. So I do this around the eyes typically in a facial service, so I would encourage you to do that on your mannequin. Okay, once we've done all three, we're going to repeat that same sequence. So going back into effleurage, and then we're going to move into petrissage. As you're doing your massage sections, you do want to take a look up every so often to see that your proctor is looking at you, just so you can confirm that they are seeing every technique. We don't want to rush this, because if they do not see it, you may lose a point. We're going to move into tapotement. And then we go back into that same sequence one more time. The reason we do it 3 times is just to make sure that our proctor saw every manipulation and we get credit for all of that massage service. So we're going into that effleurage, and then we're going into petrissage. It's a little hard to do on a mannequin and not a person, but try your best. It is a more pinch and slide motion, so try your best to show that. And then we're going into tapotement to finish. Once we've demonstrated all 3 techniques 3 times, we're going to take our little paper towel here, wipe any product we have on our hands off. We're going to sanitize our hands, and then we're going to move into a steam towel removal. So we'll grab our steam towel, wringing out any extra moisture inside the towel. We're going to zip this closed. Then we can drop from a distance and drape this across our arm. You can sanitize your hands, and then we can move into a steam towel removal. Okay, so we want to place this to where it covers our mannequin's face, leaving the mouth and nose exposed. This is a removal steam towel, so we can go straight into product removal. We're wiping down and out. We're going to gently lift and throw this away. We'll then sanitize our hands, and then we will tone. So we're going to grab our cotton ball and our toning product. A couple of spritzes on the cotton ball. Close this back up, and we're going to tone. We'll then throw this away along with the toner, massage product, and remaining paper towel. We'll sanitize our hands, and before we move on, we're going to grab a barbicide wipe, and we're going to wipe our station. We'll throw the wipe away, we'll sanitize our hands, we'll step back, raise our hand to indicate completion. Our next section is mask and moisturizing service. So we'll reach into our kit, we'll open it up, and grab our mask and moisturizing service bag. We want to make sure we zip our kit closed, place it to the side, and then we'll sanitize our hands before we begin. Now we'll start laying out our items, starting first with a paper towel. This is going to be where all of our disposables are. So we'll put our cotton ball, our stick, we have our mask brush, and our products. These items will all be laid out here. We do have an additional towel for our hands if needed. And then we also have our steam towel. We're going to close this up, throw that away, sanitize our hands. Now we're ready to get started with that masking application. So we're going to grab our mask product. You're going to open the jar, and we're going to take our small spatula here, and we're going to scoop out as much of that mask as possible. So that way we don't have to worry about double dipping or grabbing a new spatula. So grab as much of that product out, and we're going to place this on our mannequin. I choose the forehead. You can do the cheek. It does not matter. We just want to get that dollop of mask on our mannequin. So now we can take our stick. We'll take our jar and close it. These items can go back on the paper towel, or they can go in the trash. Personally, I like to have as little clutter as possible. So I'm going to take my closed jar and my stick, and I'm going to throw those away. I'm now going to sanitize my hands, I'm going to grab my mask brush and I'm going to start spreading that dollop of mask around my mannequin's face. We do want to be using a mask that has some sort of color to it, so that way we can look for evenness of application. So we'll spread that mask around. There's no specific rhythm or technique or direction. We do just want to take it from the top and move it kind of to the outsides and down and apply that mask if we would on a client. Once we have that mask applied, you can put this on your paper towel or you can throw it away. Again, I like little clutter, so I'm going to throw it away. I'm going to sanitize my hands, and now I'm going to wait about 1 to 2 minutes because masks normally in the treatment room would sit. So we just want to show that we understand that masks need a few moments to sit. So again, you can stand back. If you have a wall clock to refer to, watch that clock for a minute or just count to 60 seconds in your head. Once that minute has elapsed, we can then move into steam towel removal. But before we do that, just to be on the safe side, we're going to sanitize our hands one more time. Then we're going to grab that steam towel, wringing out any extra moisture into the bag. We'll then close the bag up, drop it from a distance, and we can go straight into the steam towel removal, or we can be extra precautious and we can sanitize again. We want to open it up, test for temperature, place this on our mannequin, leaving the mouth and nose exposed. And we're going to press, and then we can start removing. So taking our towel, wiping from the inside out and down, removing all of that product, then we'll gently lift and throw this away. We'll then sanitize our hands and we get to move into toning. So we have our toning mist right here. We'll open that up. We'll grab our cotton round, a couple of spritzes onto the cotton ball, close this back up, and begin toning. We can now take this, throw it away, and sanitize your hands. The last thing we're going to do for this section is take our moisturizer, add a little bit to our hands, close this bottle, place it down, and we're going to moisturize. Okay. At this point, you'll have moisturizer on your hands, so we are going to just use that extra paper towel to wipe it off. We're going to grab our product, our paper towel, and we're going to throw everything away. We're going to sanitize our hands. Before we move to the next section, we're going to grab a barbicide wipe, and we're going to wipe our station. We'll throw that wipe in the trash. We will sanitize our hands, step back, raise our hand to indicate completion. All right, our next section is going to be waxing service using soft wax. So I'm going to go into my kit. I'm going to grab my waxing service bag. I'm then going to close this up. Before I move into the section, I'm going to sanitize my hands, and now I can start setting my items out. Starting first with a paper towel. This is going to help keep my station clean so I can place all of my disposables on top of that. So, place my items out. Most of this section is disposables, so got a lot to make sure you place. And remember, at State Board, you have time, so there is no reason to rush through this process. You can take your time setting up all your items. There is an additional paper towel just in case you need it. This is going to be closed and thrown away, and then we're going to sanitize our hands. Now, after we sanitize for this section, we do want to just give them a little bit of a waft to help them dry, because we are going to start this section by putting on our gloves. So we will place our gloves on. And then we do want to sanitize over our gloves. So anytime we have gloves on, we do need to continue to sanitize as if they were our hands. So we're going to sanitize over our gloves. And then we're going to move into our waxing service using soft wax. So for this section, they asked that we wax and prep the area of one eyebrow. So before we do waxing, we want to make sure the area is clean. So we have an alcohol prep pad that we're going to open up, and we're going to prepare one eyebrow. So you'll open it up and you'll wipe that one eyebrow. The trash from that is going to go into your trash can, and you're going to sanitize your hands. Now the area is going to be damp from that alcohol wipe, so we have a cotton ball here to dry the area. Once the area is dry, we can then throw this away, and again, sanitize those hands. Right. Before we apply to our mannequin, we do want to test the wax just out of precaution. It is implied that it's cold. However, we do want to take that wax product. We can take the lid and place it down, and we'll grab a little bit of that wax product and we'll place that on our wrist. Okay. This stick can go back onto the paper towel or directly into the trash. For this purpose, I am just going to place it right here. That way I can quickly put the lid on my wax product. Because I have wax now on my wrist, I'm going to take a strip where I tested, and I'm just going to lift that up. As it's implied, it's soft wax. This strip can go onto this paper towel. Okay, so now the wax has been tested, we're good to move into our service. Her eyebrow has already been prepped, so I'm going to sanitize my hands, and now I'm going to repeat that process, but instead of a test, we're going to do it on our mannequin. So we'll open up our wax product, place the lid down, grab the clean stick. We're going to grab that product out, and we're going to place it underneath the eyebrow as if we were doing an arch service. This stick can go off to the side. We want to close our wax, and we're going to grab our clean strip. Now, we're going to take the strip, apply, and remove in the direction of hair growth, which generally speaking, if it would be growing this way, we're going to then pull against. We'll pull. We can place this on the paper towel. We're going to sanitize our hands, and now we're going to clean the brow. So we have a alcohol wipe here. This is just going to help clean. We would use a post-wax product after this, so that's next, but this is just going to help clean off any Vaseline and clean the area. So we'll use our alcohol wipe to clean. We can throw that away, sanitize our hands, and then we're grabbing our post-wax product and a cotton ball. We're going to apply that to the cotton ball, close the bottle, place it down, and apply your post-wax product. From here, all of these items that were used on our mannequin, including the wax and the post-wax product, all of these can now go into the trash along with that additional paper towel. We do want to take off our gloves as well. We're going to peel them off from the inside out. And before we get to the end of our fingers, we're going to use those fingers to help us take those off. We're going to throw that away, sanitize our hands, and before we move into the next section, we want to grab a barbicide wipe, and we want to barbicide all of the area around our station drape. So any metal surface that's been exposed, out of precaution, we want to sanitize. Once you have that wipe down, you'll throw your wipe away. You'll sanitize your hands. Step back, raise your hand to indicate completion. All right, our next section is blood exposure incident service. So we're going to grab our kit, and this should be the only bag remaining at this point. So we're going to grab our blood exposure incident service. We're going to close our kit. Even though it is empty, we do want to make sure we're maintaining sanitation. So we'll place that down, we'll sanitize our hands, and we'll start laying out our items. So for this section, we do want to protect as much of our surface area as possible. So we're going to take a large paper towel, and we're going to place that on our station. This is going to help give us plenty of surface area for all of our disposables. We have our biohazard bag to throw items away, and then all of our other items placed out. This will be closed and thrown away. We're going to sanitize our hands. Again, this section, we do want to kind of give them a little wave, make sure they're fully dry, because the first thing that we need to do is place gloves on. Okay, then we want to sanitize over our gloves before we begin. So for this section, we are implying that our mannequin is bleeding. I usually pick the area around the brow we just waxed because that makes the most sense. However, it does not matter what part you pick of your mannequin's face to be bleeding. First thing we want to do is stop the bleeding. So we're going to take a 2x2, and we're just going to apply pressure for 30 seconds. And this is just going to make sure, again, first aid, we want to stop the bleeding, make sure it's controlled before we start cleaning and bandaging. So once we have the bleeding stopped, we are going to take our 2x2 and we are actually going to throw it away first in our biohazard bag. We don't want to go straight for the trash because we want to make sure we're throwing things away properly. So we're going to throw this away in our biohazard bag. We are going to zip this closed and place this back onto the paper towel. Now, if you can get it to stand up, that's great. Sometimes they fall over, so it's okay. We have that paper towel to help support our sanitation today. All right. So now what we're going to do is move into the cleaning and bandaging portion of this. So once we have that thrown away properly, we're going to sanitize our hands and we're going to go in with our alcohol wipe and we're going to open that up and we're going to clean that area with an alcohol wipe. The wipe and the trash from the packaging is going to go inside our biohazard bag. So we're going to throw this away, close this, again, set this up or place it down. Sanitize our hands again, and then we're going to follow with a bandage. So you'll open this up. All of your bandage trash can go on the paper towel here, and then you'll take your Band-Aid, place it on that cut, and then we move on with throwing the rest of our stuff away. So your Band-Aid would stay on your mannequin until the end of the service, until the end of your exam actually, but we're just going to pretend like we placed that Band-Aid on there, and this is the Band-Aid trash. So we'll grab that trash. We're going to go in our biohazard bag. We're going to throw that away. We're going to close this, sanitize our hands once more, and then we're going to start peeling our gloves off. Okay, we're going to be very cautious and mindful to peel them off from the inside of our wrists and peel them down. Okay, we're going to take our gloves, throw them away in here. We're also going to take this paper towel, fold it dirty side to dirty side, and we're going to throw this away in here as well. Close this up and throw this away into the trash. Follow with sanitizing of the hands. And then again, barbiciding of our station. So where that paper towel was sitting, everywhere we want to make sure it's nice and clean. We're going to throw that wipe away. And then we're going to sanitize our hands. Step back and raise our hand to indicate completion. All right, we are now at end of exam disinfection, our final section. So this portion really just consists of us making sure we take all of our items and clean up after ourselves. So before we begin, we're going to sanitize our hands. So we're going to sanitize, and at this point, we just need to remove all of our items. So what we can do is we can remove our mannequin's draping. We also did not use our bag of extras. This was just in case we dropped a cotton ball or a 2x2. We had a sanitary replacement, but we don't need this anymore. So these items we can throw away. We then want to sanitize our hands again, and our mannequin and our table drape, we want to remove them. Personally, what I like to do is take that table drape and throw it away, and with my mannequin, I'm then going to place her in the kit, and I'm going to close this up for the moment. I'm then going to sanitize my hands, and I'm going to start sanitizing my station. So what's remaining of my barbicide wipes, I'm going to make sure I fully wipe my station. I wipe any mirror or metal items in front of me that I came into contact with. If I had hooks under my station, I do want to sanitize those as well. If I interacted with the chair behind me or any items that are designated to me as my station, those items need to be sanitized with barbicide. Once I have done that, I'm throwing away those wipes as I go, sanitizing in between. At that last bit, I'm going to take the rest of my wipes or the bag that's empty now, throw that away. I'm going to open up my kit, and I'm going to place this up here so you guys can see. So I have my mannequin in here. I'm going to take my trash, all of my kit items, and place them back inside my kit. They do want to see that you take all of your waste, all of your items home with you. So pivot it around, however you can make it work. We're going to close this up. Before we're done, give yourself one more hand sanitizer, and then close this up. Wait at your station until your proctor is ready. So you'll wait with your items, raise your hand to indicate completion, and they will give you your score report. So this is going to be the final section. This concludes our Texas Esthetician State Board Practical Run Through. If you're one of our Aveda Arts students, you can reach out to me for any questions or concerns. Thank you all so much for watching.